Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdcast for the next episode of Osiris New Dawn. My name is Splattercat. Happy as always to have you here. There is a lithium thing right there, but more importantly, I found a cave. I was wandering around, and frankly, I don't even really know what I was looking for. I've been kind of just having like my own little jam session here, and look, oh my god, there's so much. Wow, that's a pretty titanium-rich area. I'm fairly impressed. Okay. Well, we'll worry about the rest of this stuff a little bit later. It looks like the skeliopods and whatnot have not leveled up out here. The interesting thing for right now is this cave. If you were playing along with me and trying to figure out where I'm at right now. Oh, no, don't fall in the cave. Don't fall in the cave. We don't know what's down here yet. Stop that right now. It's at 1.5, 9.4, I guess, on the backside of this little mountain right here. So there you go. If you were trying to locate it, that's where it be at. What's down in here, though? I'm hoping the big thing that I'm looking for right now is like any like large deposit of gold and or diamond. I think is what I really, really want. Because it seems like some of the stuff that we can craft. Well, there's some lead. Some titanium. What the shit is that? Oh, it's one of those turtle things from up top. A Tumbo, and he appears to be stuck. I ain't gonna mess with him if he ain't gonna mess with me. I'm just gonna leave him alone for right now. But we need diamond, like, really, really badly. Otherwise, we aren't gonna be able to advance in the game any further. And so I'm hoping this is the sort of place where we can track that down at. Haven't seen anything that looks productive so far. Then again, I don't really know what diamond looks like either. Hoping my flashlight holds out here. Well, there's some lithium. So that's like one of the second most valuable things you can find around here. So maybe we find diamond nearabouts this. Cave doesn't look to be diving down any deeper into the earth. Although we may be able to leave out through this end. It looks like we got some dirt or some dust or something blowing in. Although that might just be the way that the game renders and gets things that are off in the distance. There's something on the ground right there. Maybe that'll be our diamond. I've been kind of lost as to what to do with this series. It's kind of a funny thing. This series has a lot of downtime. Like, I can play this game for 3 and 4 hours and really only find enough stuff to do for, like, diamond. Only for, like, 20 minutes worth of fun, basically. And so, I don't know. We're going to try and get everything built, though. Oh, my God, the diamond is so explosively vibrant. I'm going to try and figure out how much diamond we need in order to make this work. Hopefully the diamond is not too heavy either, because I'm already almost at like maximum capacity. Let me see. I'll ditch. I can make more of the canisters. The canisters are really, really easy to craft, and so if that's what's going to be our limiting reagent here and I can't, pick up enough stuff, I'm a little worried something in here is going to try and murder me. Yeah, give me that diamond real fast. There we go. Get as much of it as I can. It appears to be kind of heavy. I would say drop that, drop that, drop that. Screw it. I can get more. Because I never want to have to run back out here. That's my big caveat, is I just don't want to have to come back out here once we have all this. So for utilities, what do we craft? For structures, for a laboratory, we need 5 diamond for that. That's not that bad. For the biodome, we don't really need anything. I could do a hallway and kind of run all this stuff together. For any of my utilities, do I need diamond? Trying to count this out properly. We need lithium for that one. Wasn't there something like erythrium or something like that too? It doesn't look like diamond is going to be like a real high volume thing for us. I'm just going to leave the canisters here. They can eat my ass. And then we'll gather up all this stuff. And then we'll do our best to wander our asses all the way back home with the diamond that we've recovered here. So let's see if we can get out of this place. I think we should be able to glide at a normal speed without too many problems. Our pointer right now is pointing back to the spawn position of our base, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get back over there. I've already collected the lithium we need in order to be productive back at our base, and so I suppose for right now, maybe I'll make a little cuddly cut right here. We'll go back to base and we'll see what we can craft. Really, the only thing that I needed out here was some of the lesser stuff like diamond, and so if I'm making my way back home, I don't really see any reason to bore you guys with the interim time, and so off I go. Home again at last, although I'm not really sure this last load of diamond is going to be enough for us to craft anything. The game is quite farmy. It requires you to spend a lot of time just hammering away at rocks, and half the time I don't have like a third of the things I need. Basically, I've got iron, I've got plutonium. A lot of the stuff I need is right around my base, but the rarer stuff is pretty far out, stuff like gold, things of that nature. Let's go back to our pillow fort real fast. I will throw the diamond in here so we're no longer weighed down. We will probably take an attack soon by nasty aliens who don't like us very much. I've got chlorine barrels over here. I'll probably keep those rocking. Let's have a look at... Well, here, what are my supplies looking at right now? I've got 11 steel. I don't really have a ton of anything right now. I've got some things, but we're going to need more before we're going to make this work 100%. I farmed out a lot of stuff in the interim. Sorry, the door opening scared me. So from our fabricator, we can't get a heavy assault magazine yet. That doesn't matter. I would probably say that focusing on barrels is probably a good idea. Get a bunch of those because creating plastics seems to be a fairly frequent bottleneck for me as I play the game. I find that I spend a lot of time running in between hydrogen vents and back and forth. Like, I go through them very, very quickly. Still, let's repressurize here. Yep, repressurize. Thank you. I shoot at you, door. Give me what I want or I shoot at you. All right, so from the fabricator, what can we do here? We've got wires. We've got circuit boards. Those require lithium and plastic, and so that's going to take us a little bit of time to get done. I would like to craft a whole bunch of circuit boards and a whole bunch of wire today because the next thing we're going to be going after, we got an oxygenator, which is sitting right there. That goes into the... I could basically put that into any habitat, okay? That's fine. Couches, don't really care about that. Storage locker, don't really care about that either. We can get the kitchen, which allows us to make raw food, and that can be put inside of a barracks. Got a shower and a reclaimer. It serves a perpetual water source for quenching your thirst. Okay, that's not too bad. Should be able to bang that out. I mean, the big thing that I'm interested in is essentially creating the laboratory. The laboratory is what I want quite a bit of. So for circuit boards and for that, we're going to need lots of rubber, lots of copper, and lots of gold. So let's start that off. We're going to get our 10 wire. So let's go grab some gold. We're going to need copper, and we're going to need rubber, and we'll make as much wire as we can make for right now. I am going to film this entire crafting process, because why not? We're hanging out, and there's not really much else to do. We're kind of just... The game is not super populated with stuff to do at the moment, so we're kind of just, like, going in on whatever's available. Don't know if I'm going to have enough gold to do some of the stuff that I want to do. That's going to be the next bottleneck, isn't it? Got some plastic right there, but it's actually rubber that we want in huge quantities. Did I hide my rubber somewhere else? Rubber, where are you at, glorious rubber? There it is. Rubber shouldn't be too hard to come by. It's not a hard resource to find. We've got like a very, very good supply of it right next to our house. So we'll make these 10 wires. And if we have to go out for gold, then I guess we have to go out for gold. I know where I think I can get some, and it shouldn't be too bad. From our fabricator here, basically I'll probably just craft all of that. And then on this side for that, we need lithium, and we need gold, and we need plastics. I probably don't have a lot of that laying around, but that's 15 wire that we've already banged out, and that's not too bad. I thought I had more than 24 gold, but I guess I'm wrong. It must have been on a droid or something that I was keeping with me. Must have lost him. We're probably going to get attacked in the middle of the night. I found that we get attacked a lot by there's a lot of nasty things in the darkness that really just don't seem to be they don't promote humanity, is the kind way that I would put it. They don't seem to be super stoked about the fact that we exist. They seem to be a little bummed out about it. I'll take some iron, if I can have that. I'll get the wire put back in there with the aluminum and the magnesium. Let's take this, and I'm going to craft some more steel, because we always need a big supply of steel, too. So let me just get all the steel that I can craft, because I can get aluminum and magnesium fairly easily, as can I get iron. Need more magnesium, more aluminum, and more iron. I'm going to clean out the inventory very rapidly so that that's all done. So there's more magnesium. There's more iron and more aluminum. Aluminium is probably in here somewhere too. Nope, no aluminium. Am I out of aluminum? I feel as though I might be out of aluminum. That's a bummer. We got 36 steel. I mean, how much could we actually need? We need 32 to get into there. We need a pretty significant quantity of gold. So I'm thinking we may have to go in on gold next and just find like a really, really good gold vein and just kind of dedicate to that. Let me throw this stuff back in here. I'll probably grab... Oh, I don't know. What's it going to cost? Where are we being hit from? Something's on me right now. Oh, he's over there. Ah, there he is. Yep, that's right. I got your number, weird space creature. Like, I'm sure to your people you're not weird, but to me you're quite weird. Is there going to be more of these shenanigans? Or are we good here? Let me grab my defender bot, too. Somebody to watch my ass in the case that this gets a little bit rowdy. And if we want to track down gold, I think the easiest way to do that is going to be to wander off in just any particular direction. And once you get far enough from home, you should be able to track it down pretty easily. The downside here is that the robot travels really, really slow, which can actually slow you. Oh, shit. Well, that's not a fun feeling to feel. Ow, bitch. Now, I suppose this is a reasonable enough opportunity for my robot to catch up with me and get chewed on by this monstrosity. Something on our left, too, I think. Yep, there he is. So we got an infant gnat. Every single night, enemies seem to get a little thicker. I do think we're going to have to upgrade our kit. Like, an assault rifle might make this easier. There we go. He's down. Oh my god, there's another one. Alright, well, give me my multi-tool. Oh, never mind. It's not letting me fix him. Yeah, it's not letting me fix him. That's unfortunate. I wish that it was letting me fix him, but it's not. God. There we go. Okay, I think we're safe for right now. Home is back that way. Let's go ahead and trudge off into the distance. Bunch of nasty threats out here that all want to take care of me, and I want nothing to do with them. My robot's dead again, though. Robot is very, very dead again. Now, the multi-tool works as a repair object for everything else in the game, but I don't know what's going on with the robot. You can't really repair him too easily. We do want to watch out for sandworms or whatever else while we're out here. I think our best chance at finding gold is probably out this way. Is my suit okay? Or is my suit kind of busted right now? Okay, vitals are stable. I accept that. Let me kill my flashlight too, just in the off chance that I run out of battery sometime in between here and the next episode. Got titanium all over the place. We will be requiring that as a resource in order to craft ourselves bullets and stuff like that. And actually, it's very, very difficult to craft bullets in this game. It seems as though they probably don't want players like murdering each other or anything like that. I think we've got gold. Oh, or an Abaddon crater. That means we're probably going to have to deal with a sandworm soon. Yeah, it's a bit problematic. He missed, though, so we're good. I knew he was going to try and get us. You know, for like a... Judging by the way that it attacks us as its prey, one would assume that the sandworm is an ambush predator. So why doesn't it just hit us from below? Like, why does it have to launch from way over there in order to get after us? You know what I mean? Like, why is that a necessary step in its hunting process? I kind of feel like it could get away with just coming up directly underneath us, and it'd be a lot more efficient method. But I guess the field of sandworm research and development is probably a little bit less stocked than we figured. Plutonium right there. I wouldn't be adverse to picking up some lithium while I'm out here. What is this? Chlorine? Oh, we found a chlorine geyser. That's fun. You don't see chlorine very often. Now, when we build our super awesome space swimming pool, we will be able to gather that and make our lives easier. Hooray. I swear to God, we're going to get the vehicles and everything in this game. It's just going to take some time. Take some time and some effort to farm. About a kilometer out right now, that's when gold usually starts to show up. It seems to be at like a certain distance out. You kind of just go in any one direction until you get far enough out, and I tend to run into it anyways. And if you can't find it that way, then I guess them's the breaks. That's the way life goes. This environment, it's kind of like Space Nevada out here. Isn't it, though? It's kind of like Space Nevada, although Nevada's a lot flatter. You see a lot of... You don't see any of this stuff right here. These are actually kind of strange as far as... These are a little bit odd as far as geologic formations go. My only assumption there is that these were once part of mountains and that over time, water wear and tear and general erosion have gotten rid of all the things that were soft enough to be eroded, and these parts right here can no longer be eroded, and that's what's left over, or at least they erode at a much, much slower rate due to their chemical composition or something along those lines. That would be my assumption if I just had to throw something out there to put down for the test. I'm just saying. If something had to go on the page and I had a pop quiz, that's what I'd put down. Oxygen geysers over there, which is weird. One doesn't really think about oxygen geysers being a thing, but I suppose they must be. Definitely don't light a match or anything. Is pure oxygen flammable? Oh no. We should find some gold out here somewhere. I would almost promise you we'll find gold out here, because we're getting to the point where there's carbon. And then if we start seeing magnesium, the Herman crater. So I see titanium out here. Let's keep a weather eye out right now, Queequeg, to make sure that we don't get sandwormed while we're in this area. I would hate to walk this far out and then just get eaten by one of those things. Frankly, they're pretty easy to outrun as long as you've got all your stuff stowed away and you're gliding. Some people call it burning, and some people are calling it like jetting, essentially. It's the fastest way to get around, and honestly, really the only option until you have vehicles, which we don't have right now. I'm sure other YouTubers that are better at their job have already found a way to do it, but not I. I'm just putting along behind the curve. Seems to be the story of my life. No gold just yet, but this is about where gold tends to start showing up. Like, you start to see these little bastards over here. If we see lithium around, that's how we'll know that gold is in the area. Sometimes you find fields of gold out here too. I suppose I could have gone back to where I got it last time, and it probably would have been quicker. But I wanted to go in a new direction and kind of just see what was out here, bring you guys along for the adventure. Did a lot of hiking and stuff like that when I was in college. Essentially, I was a geology major, which meant that we had these field trips where we go out for like weeks at a time, and you just hike dozens and dozens of miles up and down mountains looking for specific rock formations and stuff like that. There's gold right there that you could use for research and stuff of that nature. Honestly, I know that, one of our professors, he transferred to Minnesota or something like that. He was working on research in the area where we're doing a lot of our papers. And essentially, he said, I'm at the point where I essentially have to credit the last like 50 classes. I've been doing this now for like 10 years, and every single person that's contributed to it, I'd like to include them in the et al. Section, you know what I mean? Et al. Means essentially everybody that wasn't important enough to mention. And if you've never done kind of college papers or like research or anything like that, and so it'll be like Dobbins, Hitchens, Anderson, et al. And the et al. Would be the part where all of the interns and students that collected all the data would be at. Et al. Is basically just a way of saying that I've abridged all the people that have contributed to this, and there should be a specific section somewhere in the paper where the et als are credited, but it's Latin for essentially you aren't important enough for me to bring it up. Although I think in reality it means and everyone else. If we walk around this radius right now, we should be able to find a lot of gold, and in fact, that's probably what I'll attribute myself to. But yeah, I did a lot of papers. I did papers in all kinds of places. Arizona, Southern California, Nevada. Basically any of those big areas. If you live in those areas, you know there's like expansive stretches of land where nothing goes on, and there will be like a mountain out there. And sometimes what'll end up happening is there'll be a mountain with like a little ridge of rock or something that runs out. And you follow the rock bed and you try to determine what happened out there geologically. Like sometimes it's from compression, sometimes it's from volcanic processes. I personally find volcanic processes to be the most interesting. I don't tend to find sediment to be super thrilling. It's not something that I really want to dedicate myself to. Sedimentology was interesting. Honestly, I didn't have a problem with fluid dynamics. Fluid dynamics were kind of an interesting area of study. And that folds in, like, you've got to have a reasonably solid foundation in fluid dynamics in order to do sedimentology. You know, Helmholtz instabilities and things of that nature, being able to predict where they go and whatnot. But, in all frankness, wasn't a huge fan. That's titanium right there. Okay. Where are we at right now in case I die? We're at 8.215. I think I know where we are with respect to the rest of the map. Got like a rough idea anyways. We're kind of way out along the fringes and the edges. Still not seeing any gold though. We should be able to find a gold field out here somewhere. I would almost promise you that one exists. You can get off the grid, but there's nothing really out there as far as I know. Like, I wandered around for a couple hours. Basically, you'll know you're at the edge of the map because the land drops off hella sharply. And while you'll see little rocks and stuff like that out there, I don't actually think there's anything out there to be found. I wandered out a little ways previously, but didn't find anything of note. Like, it was basically just like empty space. And I started to get this horrible feeling that the game was just going to kill me off and just be like, oh, sucks to be you. You wandered too far off the bounds. And so I kind of stopped wandering out that way, but there may be something out there. I don't know. I mean, I'd probably be the guy to wait until I have a vehicle or a car or some kind of space vehicle. I was playing multiplayer and I saw a guy fly by in like a spacecraft, which was like, what? I didn't know what the hell that was. It had like a big Millennium Falcon look. Well, no, actually it had more of like a Halo looking thing to it, like maybe a Valkyrie from Warhammer 40k. Cool looking craft though. Kind of wanted one. I hope that's gold over there. If it's not, then that's going to suck. But I'd like to stack up enough gold in this episode to where we can get a whole bunch of crafting done before we have to go back out and scavenge for more of it. The gold does seem to break more readily. No, that's copper over there, I think. Well, shit on my booty hole. Wait, there's still gold over here? Is it submerged? Oh, it is. Looks like it's right there. Tried to chisel something out of it, but unfortunately, sometimes the veins go underground based on topography, and then you won't be able to grab onto it. It's interesting that they put diamond down in those pipes because that's actually fairly accurate for where you find diamonds in kimberlite pipes, which are areas, honestly, we're not totally sure how kimberlite pipes form right now. The fun thing about geology, if you're thinking about studying it, is that it's a young science. The fundamental precepts of the geologic theory were only founded like 70 years ago, like in the 30s, which by comparison to something like chemistry or by comparison to something like physics or mathematics makes geology very comparatively young, meaning it's a very fertile field for discovery. There's lots of new things being found and new theories being figured out in geology almost on the yearly. Like it's a science that's not old, basically. So, I'm sorry, it's not a science that's extinct, essentially. Like, there are some sciences that are essentially extinct. Like, you can only go so far with them because everything's been discovered that can be discovered within the realms of, like, Earth, for example. So, mineralogy is considered to be a dead science because everything in mineralogy that you can find on Earth has essentially either been theorized or has been found. Mineralogy is kind of a... Nobody becomes a mineralogist. Or a crystallographer, for example. Most people don't become crystallographers or mineralogists because it's not a field that you actively, like, hire people in. Like, you would have to be good at something else, essentially. Like, you're unlikely to get hired as a mineralogist. Instead, you would bolster your already solid resume with, like, for example, an understudy in mineralogy. So what you would do is you would go in and you would become like a igneous and metamorphic petrologist, and then from there you would study in your free time a bunch of crystallography or mineralogy. And so that means that for an old science, you're very, very experienced in that old science, but I wouldn't put all your eggs in that basket. For right now, it appears as though we're right about out of time. I'm going to continue jetting around and looking for gold. It's fun talking about geology and that kind of stuff with you, although it's been a couple of years since I got out of college. And honestly, I went straight out of college and started working on YouTube videos. Probably a mistake in my life. Probably one of the principal mistakes in my life. And so unfortunately, my geologic knowledge has kind of dwindled over the years. I've kept all my notes and everything from school. Like, I've got like a full bookcase of all my notebooks and everything else. But, you know, sometimes I regret that I didn't go into a field that I was passionate enough about. If you're really passionate about something, I feel like you probably wouldn't give it up. And I gave up geology pretty quickly when faced with a career here on YouTube. And in retrospect, I don't think this whole YouTube thing is going to pan out or last forever. So, might have been a bad idea. But either way, I'll see y'all in the next episode of Osiris. Adult life is full of regrets. Trust me, if you haven't accumulated a couple by the time you're like 30, probably weren't a risk taker to begin with. I'll see y'all later. How you do, everybody?